All right, so coming up to our last really stoichiometry problem here. Since it is a stoichiometry problem, I'm going to go ahead and review that roadmap again with you. So we could possibly start with grams of what we have or given. Then from there, we would need to convert it to moles of what we have or given. Then from there, we're going to go to moles of what we want. Then possibly, depending on what we're asked for, grams of what we want. So each time we go from one to another, that's a step. Step number one, if we were given grams and we need to find moles, we're going to divide by the molar mass. Step number two, to go from moles of what we have to moles of what we want, we're going to multiply by our mole ratio. Once again, mole ratio is from your coefficients, so it's what you want over what you have. Okay, and that little hashtag, remember, it comes from your coefficients. Once we have moles of what we want, and we might need to go to mass of what we want, we are going to, for step 3, multiply by the molar mass. All right, so let's look at number 6. 27.07 grams of potassium carbonate reacts with excess HCl to produce what mass? So what mass of KCl? And then we have our molar masses here. So I have 27.07 grams of K2CO3. That molar mass given was 138. And I want to know the mass, so question mark grams, of KCl. And KCl's molar mass was 74. I'm going to write my balanced equation, fill out my chart. I'm going to go ahead and separate everything because I like to keep stuff nice and straight. Bring down my coefficients for my mole ratios. All right, and I'm going to fill in what I was given. So 27.07 grams of K2CO3. So I was given 27.07 grams. The molar mass was 138. I want to know how many grams of KCl, so I'm looking for this, and that molar mass was 74. So that means I don't care about HCl and I don't care about water or carbon dioxide. So on this problem here, we are going from grams to grams. So according to our chart here, our roadmap, we're going to go from here to here. So we go through all 3 steps. So step 1, here's where we're starting because that's the number we're given. So step 1 says we have to go from grams of what we have to moles of what we have. So we're going to find this number first. So this is going to be step number 1. So to get there, step 1 says divide by your molar mass. So 27.07 divide by 138. Keeping 2 decimal places, so that is going to round up to 0.20. All right. So we just finished step number 1, which got us to here. So that's why I put that answer there. So now we're going from moles of what we have to moles of what we want, and we use our mole ratio. Okay, so we're going from here to here. So this is where I'm going to put my answer after I do number 2. So 0.20. Okay, that's what I'm starting with. So this is using the mole ratio. So remember, you multiply by what you want. So that's 2. You divide by what you have. Okay, so that is going to be 0.4. Now, obviously, this is an easy ratio to look at. So this is twice the amount of that. It's a 2-to-1 ratio. So this is twice the amount of this. So whatever this is, this has to be 2 times that amount. All right. Okay, so that was step number 2. But we don't want moles, we want mass. So we got to do step number 3, which is going to get us to the mass. And it says to complete step 3, take our moles, multiply by the molar mass. So 0.4 times 74 gets us 29.6 grams of KCl. Okay, so 29.6 grams of KCl. Now, what if we didn't want to do it that way? What if we wanted to do it the other way? All right, so we're going to tell what we have. So we have grams. That's what we have. We are wanting grams. So grams is what we want. So grams we have, grams we want means we go 1, 2, 3. Once again, you start your math always with the number given, which that number given to us from the problem is 27.07. Step 1 says to divide by the molar mass, so that molar mass was 138. So that was step 1. Step 2 says to multiply by the mole ratio, so that is what you want over what you have. So that is 2 over 1. So that is step 2. Step 3, since we're going all the way to grams, says to multiply by the molar mass. So that's 74. Okay, now this time everything gets done all together. So 27.07 divide by 138 times 2 divide by 1 times 74. And that would be 29.03 grams of KCl. All right, you might be thinking, wait a minute, that's different than what we got before. It's different because this one up here, okay, this one up here, we rounded numbers. When we did this one, we kept all the numbers the same. Or not all the numbers the same. We didn't round any. We just did continuous math. We just put all this in at once. We immediately put this divided by this times 2 divided by 1 times 74. All is one big equation instead of doing individual steps and rounding in between. This one here, we round it. So when we do round, it can make a difference, okay, depending on that. Now, either way, both of these would be accepted on your test, all right? So that was problem number 6.